All right, we've reached the end of the year, and that means we have some talking to do about some of our favorite movies of the year. And I, of course, have gathered the team so that we can discuss. So, Derrick, Marty, Shawn, and Alex making his debut on ForReel podcast content. Guys, welcome to the conversation.
Hello.
Um, so everybody's publishing their top 10 lists or their favorites of the year and everything. And so I think it's going to be a really interesting conversation to have about what our favorites are. I feel like there's some consensus among the best of the year, but that's why we're kind of switching it up here. For our listeners, what we're going to do in this episode is I've broken down our picks for best films of the year into three categories. We have what I'm calling our prestige picks, the movies that we think should win Best Picture, should win the most awards, pretty much the front runners of the season. I have our personal favorites, movies that we really enjoyed, regardless of critical acclaim or awards contention. And then I have hidden gems because I really think it's important at the end of the year to not forget about movies that are really, really good, but just happen to not be as prominent in awards conversations. So that's how we're gonna do it. Derrick, how do you feel about I have to actually tell you what yours are because you submitted yours.
I mean, I could probably guess, but yeah.
How do you feel about let's just talk about your feelings about film throughout 2025 as a whole. Overall, what do you think? Is this a good year? Bad year?
So
How do you feel?
I'm of the belief that if you watch enough movies, every year is a good year for movies. I think people that feel that years aren't good, just honestly, you just don't watch enough film. That's just really all there is to it. And even more so, like you're just not watching enough international cinema, which I cannot stand enough, because the more you watch movies that are not made in your own country, the more I think you start to understand what you can do with cinema and how many different stories there are to tell, and just different perspectives and those types of things. So all that to say, I think 2025 is a great year for movies. I had my biggest struggle this year wasn't necessarily the greats. I think there's probably 4 or 5 greats that just stand tall above literally everything else. And then even the bottom of the barrel, I actually felt like the bottom of the barrel was a little bit more disappointing than just outright bad movies, where they were movies I was really, because I didn't even do a worst of list. I just did a most disappointing list, where they were movies that like I wanted to see and I went and saw, and they just didn't live up to whatever the expectation is. But the challenge of this year was actually that whole middle section, where the amount of like 3.5 to 4-star movies that are all just like equal in my love, that made it so hard to like whittle down a list. And I ended up having to do multiple lists because I couldn't get all of them in, because there's like, I don't know, 30 films that are all like 4-star bangers for me, and I don't know how to individually put them on the list and give them the props they deserve. So overall, I think 2025 is a really, really good year for movies.
Yeah, I think that's always the challenge when making these lists, is like, how do you independently judge each movie when all movies can be so different and have and satisfy different things that you're looking for. Marty, when you make your top 10 lists of the year, how do you go about that? What's your criteria? How do you piece that together?
I go by my emotions, I guess. Like, I feel like this has been like such a stacked year. Like, I feel like I've seen almost like, I think over 200 technically 2025 releases. That includes like festivals and stuff that might not be released till later, but to me they're 2025 releases. And there's literally been so many great films, but it's like the ones that I just emotionally connect to the most are the ones that are gonna like really get up there in that top 10 spot. It's either just emotionally, visually, sometimes just a certain line from the script will just like hit me, and I'm just like, wow, like this is what cinema is all about. Cinema, and I like, it's sometimes a struggle. I'll be like looking at it towards the end of the year, and I'm like, maybe I need to rewatch this one, and I do, and then it creeps back up, because I don't know, sometimes the more time you have to sit with a film, things change. So sometimes those films that you watch in January, February that are like phenomenal, lose their spark, and other times you rewatch them and it's just like, oh my god, yes, that's why it's so high up there. So I think it's all just kind of about finding what you love, finding what you connect with, and finding what makes you feel passionate, gets you excited to talk about movies.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex, you are down in Mexico. And I'm curious what the landscape of film looks like in Mexico compared to what you're seeing people talk about in like America. I'm not sure what the release schedule is like down there, or what kind of access you have to films. How has film watching been for you throughout this year?
Yeah, this is a weird year for me because I got to watch almost all the movies that got for the Oscars and all the stuff before it gets released, because some of the movies they get really late to get released here in Mexico. Like Marty Supreme gets until January 15, I believe, and it's really sometimes really difficult to get into the conversation. But yeah, this year I got lucky because I went to some special screenings for the movies, and I got to watch Marty Supreme a month before the release. And there's a lot of international films here. There's a Cineteca here in Mexico, and they get to release. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, there's a Cineteca here in Mexico, and they get to release some of international films, like a Useful Ghost. It was a really good movie, and yeah, it's now with the leaks that they get into social media, it's really now it's more easy to get into the conversation, but it's really hard to watch them in the movie theater. Like it's really, yeah. That's. I don't know if I replied to your answer to your question.
Yeah, no, that
No, and actually, what I was going to say is it definitely feels like you get like, so the big awards contenders, unless you're really seeking them out and doing like special screenings, it's hard to get to those ones. But you mentioned something like A Useful Ghost, and that's a hidden gem for me. But nobody in the U.S. has access to that. Nobody has seen it. Like, unless you've gone to a festival, that's the only time you've seen A Useful Ghost here. So it's interesting that international features just have a little bit of a broader reach there versus like big American contenders.
Yeah, here in the Cineteca, they used to make like some special screenings for the international films, and that's how we can get to watch them. And it's really fun, that part of. But most of the people, they don't get really interested in these international movies. No, like it's a big problem. I think it's universally that some people, you were talking about that early, that some people, they don't get beyond the subtitles. And yes, they are losing a lot of magical things of cinema. Yes, there's a lot of potential in the international movies.
totally, I absolutely agree with that, and desperately wish that America would be more on board with international films. Subtitles are fine, guys. You will be okay. Shawn, you have been really active about covering movies with peer reviews and of course attending TIFF and paying attention to awards movies and things like that. Like, I think that there's like a separation between what's popular among mainstream audiences and what's popular among critics. How do you kind of like balance the two when you're making your reviews for the public?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I just try to get a balance. I try to get a balance. I mean, everyone. I have a really good idea of what audiences are gonna love and what's gonna be very popular. Obviously, you have stuff like Avatar and any Marvel movies that are coming out, so I try to cover those obviously and talk about them. But then there's stuff that you see at festivals and stuff that might not have great word of mouth that really needs that boost. Like I did a review for one of my favorite movies of the year. It was Just an Accident, which was just a fantastic movie. and I hope more people see it now that's out. So it's a very simple answer of just trying to find a balance of knowing or having an idea of what people are gonna seemingly enjoy and what's something that needs more attention, I guess. You know, I think that's people really trash on awards season and awards campaign, but I think what's so essential about that is that it gives these smaller movies that people would not know about an opportunity to be seen by millions of people. Something like Nora, which was an independent movie, ended up winning Best Picture last year because it played at festivals and people saw it, and the word of mouth. And I love that. So it's like my favorite time of year where we're looking back on the year in film and talking about what's popular, but also I love what you're doing with having us pick a movie that has been considered underrated by us and we can talk about. I love that. It's one of the best parts about, I think, movie going in general, seeing something and falling in love with it and talking about it and getting people in your life to go and watch it. It's the best feeling.
Totally. Guys, Todd has joined the chat. What's up, Todd?
I hope you can hear me.
We can hear you. There you go.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah, we're just doing some introductions, and for the last question in this segment, Todd, I think we all find it challenging to get all the movies in that we want to see. How do you go about that? How do you narrow down, like, with the time that you have, what movies you're going to watch at the end of the year?
Oof, that's a great question. You know, I think a lot of it is unfortunately like gut checking what you think you're going to like, which is just like something we all have to do. And it's pretty easy to get wrong at times. That's why there's so many great surprises and then like big disappointments. So I try to go see things in theaters as much as possible. And if it's playing in the theater, I'll prioritize that. And then the rest of the stuff is just, if it at any point was just something I missed and I really wanted to see, that gets prioritized for like at home viewing. And then just down the line of, does it sound interesting? Is it something I think I'm really going to enjoy? Is it something that a lot of like people I trust, you guys, fellow critics, friends outside of the critical space really enjoyed? I will also like give priority to that as well.
Yeah, that's a good way of going about it. Let's jump into it, guys. So you guys submitted your picks as I outlined at the beginning, and we're going to start with the hidden gem category because there is one movie in here that was chosen a couple times that I am happy we get to talk about on this podcast, and that is MEHTA. So yeah, I believe Todd and Marty, you both chose these as hidden gems. Marty, we'll start with you. What makes this a hidden gem worth talking about?
Well, I didn't think it was a hidden gem because like everyone I talk to online knows about MEHTA, but then I go out in person and people are like, oh, what have been some of your favorite movies of the year? And I talk about MEHTA and they're like, I've never heard of this. And I'll show them like the poster, I'll show them the trailer, and they're like, how did I not hear about this? And it's like, I think that Amazon, MGM, whatever, like was like, oh, we're going to push After the Hunt because of the great cast. It's Guadagnino, and it just didn't live up to people's expectations. And then announcing that you're going to be dropping MEHTA on Amazon immediately after TIFF was maybe people just didn't hear about it. It didn't get that same kind of ambitious marketing that After the Hunt got. So it kind of just got buried on Amazon. And it was one of the best films I saw at TIFF this year. It's just so devilish and delicious. Like I had heard of Hedda Gabler before, but I'd never seen any of the plays or any renditions of the story before. So I went in completely blind, like I knew nothing. And I was just so enamored by it because you're just at this party, this brash party, and you've got all these people that are trying to look better and do well in these social circles of like elitism. And you've got this woman who just really wants to just tear everything apart. So you have all these people with their brave faces, and she's just throwing stones. And Tessa Thompson's performance is, I think, the best I've ever seen from her. And I can't get enough. Like, I will probably rewatch this movie every year because it's so good. It just scratches that itch of watching someone bad do something awful. Like, you just can't get enough of it.
Yeah, it's great. Todd, what about you? What are your thoughts on this one?
I mean, yeah, same. I'm really deeply in the bag for so many parts of this movie. It's Nia DaCosta, who is, I think, like one of our blossoming premier filmmakers. It's Tessa Thompson. It's Imogen Poots, Nina Haas. Like, those are all actors I really love. And then it's based on Hedda Gabler, the Henrik Ibsen play, and I'm since high school been just like deeply invested in basically like all things Ibsen. So it wasn't on my radar until its release, and that's because, you know, we do this. And I think, like Marty was saying, it's just not on like the general public's radar at all, even though it was a Amazon movie, MGM, starring like known quantities. These are like real people, real filmmakers, and it's a real film, and it's a really good film, and it's super easy to get into. Like, it reminded me, and I don't mean this disparagingly because this is a movie I really didn't like, but in the same way that like people went crazy for Saltburn, I don't understand why that's not happening for this movie, where people just like to see big extravagant parties and wealthy people do evil things. I think that like that's really fraught in Saltburn, and completely the opposite here. But I'm like, well, that should be the reception it's getting. Like, it should be getting that reception because that's very similarly to like what it is. But it's a one night, one location, you know, drama slash like dramedy, I guess. You know, it depends on when you see adversity and people doing evil things, if you laugh or cry. And I personally laugh when it's fictional. So I just love this movie. I watched it a couple weeks ago and was absolutely floored by it. It was like, this is everything I wanted it to be. It was more than what I wanted it to be.
I really like what you said too, Todd, because you're the things that you can compare this to. So like Saltburn is a good example. So many people embrace Saltburn wrongly. Like, that one just doesn't really nail it the way that I think Hedda does. And then also, like, for me, when I saw it, I walked out and my Letterboxd review was just like, oh, this is Downton Abbey after dark. And like, how is that not something that everybody is into? People fucking love Downton Abbey. And how could you not want to see it in like a way more seductive and catty and devilish way with like way more coke? I don't get why nobody wants to watch this movie. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like if you took one singular vignette from within Babylon and like queerized it and then just stretched it out into a movie.
Yep.
With like a lot of the Ibsen doing an iteration on Shakespeare, then through the lens of like the 21st century, even though it's set in like the 50s or 60s, I believe. It's just really, really like of a time, but also going back centuries, and it's just awesome.
Alex, did you have a chance to see Hedda?
No, I didn't have the chance to see Hedda. Sorry. Yeah.
Highly recommend it. Sean, what about you?
I did see Hedda. Tiff. I wasn't a big fan of it. I know I'm in the minority on that. It just
out.
Get Mega Sean off this podcast.
Mega Sean has appeared.
Get him out. This is not the time.
Damn it. I just didn't connect with it on the same level as you guys are talking about. And that was one of my most anticipated movies of the festival. I love Nia DaCosta. I love Tessa Thompson. And I do think she gives a wonderful performance. And technically, there's a lot of stuff there that I did enjoy. But story-wise, I couldn't get into it. I'm really sorry. Maybe a rewatch would benefit. I mean, your TIFF mind definitely affects the way you think of movies. And I definitely take that into account. But I'm sorry, just it wasn't for me. I couldn't get into the story. I wasn't invested. And I'm more disappointed than anything because, like I said, I was looking forward to it quite a bit.
We'll wait until you see it again, and then see if your mind changes. I'm going
It
to
is
predict
currently
that
on
it should.
Amazon, so you're gonna have to rewatch it, Sean.
Fair.
Sean, let's keep rolling with you. What was your hidden gem of the
Yes,
year?
my hidden gem this year was Twinless, which is a movie that premiered at
Yes!
Sundance.
Yes.
Thomas's
show
favorite
of-
movie.
Show of hands, who all enjoyed Twinless? Yeah.
See now Thomas is like
I
the
know. My turn, Nega Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Sean. What makes this the hidden gem for you?
I just really, well, again, emotional connection is something that's big for me, as I said, which is why I didn't love MEHTA, but why I enjoyed this movie. I think it has a lot to do with grief. Grief is just something very present in my life right now without getting too personal, so I really connected with that. I just found it very intimate, and I really, really connected with the characters, and I just was very enthralled with the way the story evolved, and it took these twists and turns that I did not expect. And I thought James Sweeney, who not only stars in this movie but directs, writes, and I think produces it, just has so much confidence in everything he does that I'm just very interested in seeing what he does next. And he got what I think is a career best performance out of Dylan O'Brien, who plays two characters. And I just love so much about it. It's not something that would necessarily happen in real life, but I really felt like these were real people going through real trauma and loss and emotional journeys. And I found that they were so flawed, but something about them and what they were doing, all of the characters, really, you could just feel like not everything they were doing was completely unwarranted. It's so weird, but I think that's the beauty of life, and what gets so much out of this movie is just these flawed characters doing these flawed things, but it's not entirely their fault, because at the end of the day, they're people just trying to do what they think is right, and it's not always the right thing, but that's being human. And it just really connected with me, and I really enjoyed it, and I hope more people watch it. It's on VOD now, and it's something I watched not too long ago, but definitely something that's going to be on my best of year end. So I really hope people see Twinless.
Alex, how about you? What was your thoughts on Twinless?
Yeah, I like it. The movie, it was cute for me. From that director, James Sweeney, I really liked the Straight Up, the other movie that he made. I think that's kind of a better movie for me. But I like it, Twinless. I think I share the same throw about Dylan O'Brien. He makes a really wonderful performance. Like, it's amazing what he makes with the two characters. They're really completely different, and it's amazing. And yeah, it's a really really cute queer movie. Really good movie, and it's. I don't have the same love as Sean for the movie, but it's good. It was really good, the movie. Yes, yeah.
Derrick, tell me about how wrong I am.
You're wrong.
I saw this pop up and I knew this was coming, so I braced myself.
Yeah. So Thomas, I don't know what his issue with it is. He's got this aversion to Twinless that actually has nothing to do with Twinless itself. It's more about just like his own expectations of what he thought the movie was, and then something happens in the movie that I won't spoil here, but that somehow just like made him dislike the movie altogether because he didn't know about it. Like, and I just cannot understand how that is the reason to not like this movie. I can completely understand if there were other reasons that you were like, hey, this movie didn't vibe with me. I didn't really tap into the grief. I don't like the characters. I think James Sweeney's character is actually a very difficult character to want to follow because he makes some awful, awful decisions in this movie. But none of those are Thomas's issues. So I don't get it. And I've been telling him all year because we saw it together at Sundance.
I actually, I can.
all year. He needs to rewatch it until he becomes a believer, and I don't know why he hasn't done it yet.
I just don't know. It's funny because you had to endure me contributing to the soundtrack with my sighs of disappointment.
No, I love this movie. This movie made my hidden gems list overall, and I think a lot of it is James Sweeney, like what you were saying, Shawn. I think his confidence in his direction and his writing, he just really has a really strong grasp on what it is he's trying to convey, and I think he does it really well. And then Dylan O'Brien, anytime an actor who I typically discount based on like where they started, so if you start on like CW, so people like him, Charles Melton did that to me in 2023, where they just come in and like all of a sudden I'm crying, and that's you've never done that to me before, and now you're doing it. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm completely on board with everything that this movie is. So he's quite excellent in this film.
Yeah, Todd, did you get a chance to see Twinless?
No, I did not. It's on my short list.
I would say watch it. So there's. I mean,
who doesn't want to see a career best from Dylan O'Brien, whose previous
career
best was Love and Monsters?
There.
Let's see. Marty, sound off.
I love The Taste of Balls, so yeah, I liked this movie. If you didn't get the joke, watch the movie. I've actually gotten like 5 coworkers to watch this movie and made it the talk of town. So yeah, I think everyone should watch this movie. I only had it on my list because it was the only like P&I that worked with my morning, and Thomas came home from the premiere and just wrecked it. He was like, this is awful. Do you care if I spoil it? And I was like, I don't care. So he's just spoiling the movie, blah, blah, blah. So I like literally went in and I was like, low expectations. And then 5 minutes into the movie, I was like, this is hysterical. I love this movie. And it just kept getting funnier and funnier and funnier. But I was most blown away with just the care that was put into the movie. The cinematography is fantastic. There's a pretty emotional scene towards the end of the film, and just the use of reflections and mirrors and everything just kind of shows all this internal turmoil that's going on with this character. And it's so well done that I was like crying by the end of the movie. Like, it really had me going on the full roller coaster of emotions. And it also had me cracking up. I think it's one of the funniest films I've seen this year. So yeah, Twinless is up there. I think it's in my like top 5. I think everyone should watch Twinless, but go in like literally knowing nothing. The trailer does a good job of giving nothing away, but if you can, just don't even watch the trailer. Just go sit down, watch something that's darkly hilarious.
All I can say is you're welcome, Marty, for those low expectations. I'm out here doing my job. Was someone else going to say
that split scene? It's really good. It's really amazing. Like, it's one of the best scenes in the year. Like, I didn't remember it, but now that you were telling, I was like, yes, it's fantastic. It's amazing. It's it's one of the best scenes of the year.
Yeah,
it is a pretty dope scene. That scene is actually really, really good.
We're gonna make a believer out of Thomas, guys. We're all collectively, we're gonna make it happen.
We'll see. I don't know, guys. Look, like I won't say a whole lot on it. I think I've been on record a few times about how I feel about this movie, and I love that everyone loves it. I'm so happy that all of Park City enjoyed this movie while I was sulking and how disappointed I was. And it really isn't because the movie's a bad movie. I won't call this a bad movie. I think that I just had some expectations that weren't that wasn't quite what this movie at least when I first watched it, just didn't do it for me. I mean, there have been a number of movies this year that have come out about friendship. And I think all of those movies address the subject a lot better than what Twinless does for me. 2 of them actually made my top 5 when I think about like Homebound and Kokuho. Kokuho in particular, dealing with a not likable character and the things that he does to to deal with his own life circumstances and achieve his greatness, the greatness that he wants. Yeah, those just dudes.
The Japanese Marty Supreme. That's what that is.
That actually, that's very true. And don't get me started on Marty Supreme. I think the more I think about Marty Supreme, the less I like it. But
Oh,
Ooh.
what a
Oh, yeah,
horrible,
that's
what a
I'm
horrible
going to be
take.
taking over. I'm going to be taking over hosting duties.
I'm sorry.
Thomas
Oh,
got
man.
fired from his own show.
If we have time to talk about Marty Supreme afterward, we
I
will
think-
do that. But
I think it's very brave of the Bronsteins to make one of the best films of the year and one of the worst. I say that as someone who thinks that if I had legs, I'd Kick You should win Best Picture.
Mm-hmm. We're actually going to get to that one. But let's talk about Alex, your hidden gem pick. Which one did you choose?
Yeah, I believe nobody has watched this movie, The Voice of Hin Rahab. It's a really tough movie to watch because they used the audio of a girl who was in trouble in Gaza. She was in danger, and they used this audio in a fictional movie that recreates the same events that happened during they were trying to save this girl. No, it was, but for me, it has a lot of issues. The movie, like it's really I have a mixed problems with the movie because from one part they use this real audio of a real child in danger, and in the other half they use these actors to recreate the events that happen. No, and it's really. I don't know. I have a lot of mixed problems with the movie, but it's one of a hidden gem because it won the Golden Lion in the Festival of Venice, and since then it has a lot of conversations and. I don't know. It's a movie that I like it, but it's a movie that I also really didn't like it. Like it's it's really weird. And
No, it's interesting.
Anybody saw the movie? Yeah,
I didn't, but I think that's why we have this hidden gem category. Is like it doesn't have to be a perfect movie. It doesn't have to be award winning or although it does have a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. But I think it's just nice to call out a film that you think more people should see.
yes.
So I think that's a good call out. Has anyone else seen The Voice of Hin Rajab?
I hope to, though. I really hope to.
I know.
It's I've seen 14 out of 15 of the international shortlist, and that's the 15th one that I have not seen. For whatever reason, it's been really hard to get your hands on. I will say this though, I do think that if any film is going to stop Neon from going 5 for 5 in the international selection, I think The Voice of Hin Rajab is the one to do it. And I know people have a lot of issues with it too. Like Alex, the way you were kind of talking about it, that's been a big point of contention when people talk about this movie. But I do think its impact and relevance is kind of undeniable. And I think if anything is going to push out No Other Choice, even though it shouldn't, I think if anything is going to push that off the international list, I think The Voice of Hin Rajab is the one to do that.
Yes, I also think the same. It's a movie. Everybody was crying at the end of the screening. Like we watched it here in the Cineteca Nacional doing those special screenings, and yes, it's really tough, and it's really it talks about a reality it's happening. It's still happening, and it's I don't know if that's the way that everybody will get the message about the war that is happening between Israel and Palestine. And yes, it's a really tough movie to watch, but it also makes a lot of questions about how do you use a real audio of a person, of somebody who's alive, who was alive, and how do you use that audio in a screening in a I don't know if I'm making myself clear, but yes, it's really it's a movie that it's gonna move. It's gonna. I don't know if it's gonna win. I haven't watched the other ones of the international lot, but Yes, I think it's a movie that is gonna have a lot of conversations during these awards.
Season. Yeah.
Season.
Yeah, totally. No, I think this is a good call out, and I mean, because you have it on your list, I'm going to bump it up on my, because I really did want to see it at TIFF, but it was a really hard one to get to.
Yeah.
So good call out there. Derrick, your hidden gem, and this is the last one of the hidden gems. The last one of the hidden gems was My Father's Shadow.
Okay, all right. I thought that's what it was. But.
Yeah. Tell us more about how you felt about My Father's Shadow.
Yeah, so this is the best way I can describe it is kind of like After Sun for boys, but better. I'm actually not that big of a fan of After Sun. I know that's a pretty controversial take, but I know. But there is just something. This movie just absolutely floored me, and when I did my best of the year for feature film, I did it kind of the way that Marty's talking about it, where it's just all emotions, and that's what he's kind of picking on. So essentially, I picked the movies that I knew I wanted to be in that top 15, but didn't assign any number to them, and then literally just went through and like wrote the article in real time and just picked on vibes. And by doing that, My Father's Shadow ended up in my top 5. It is a film that just resonated with me so much. It is so beautifully crafted, so confidently made, so assured, so just there's been a lot of movies this year, particularly in this category, that's dealt with like memory and dreams and fractured revisionist history, kind of looking at, I mean, Marty Supreme's another good example, but just looking at our parents in a different light as we reflect back, as we look at it through the eyes of a child. There's been a lot of those types of movies where we're seeing a world that isn't fully understood because it's from such a small mind. And My Father's Shadow does that. And it has this beautiful commentary on kind of the fallacy of masculinity. There's a city on edge that is literally about to explode. And we're literally just watching these two young boys that honestly don't know anything about their father, that get to spend a day with them. And I can't even describe this movie. It's so powerful. It's so good. I can't believe more people haven't seen it. Like, this is truly one of the best films of the year. But it is a hidden gem in every way.
Mm-hmm. Did anyone else see My Father's Shadow?
Yeah, it's pretty hidden.
Yeah.
I think it goes live in February, if I'm not mistaken, like beginning of February.
Yeah.
Because Olivia was talking about it being like her favorite movie, and she's like, everyone needs to see this. And I'm like, I'm trying, girl. I'm trying.
No, it's tough. I only saw it. I couldn't get to it at the festivals. But it was part of FYC screener packages, and so I was able to see it that way, and I'm glad I did. Very good call out from Derrick. That is a really good movie. I think I personally prefer After Sun, just because that ending with Under Pressure is just transcendent.
Everyone loves Under Pressure. We get it.
I can't help that song's a banger. Like, there is no time that song has ever been used wrongly. Like, it's always a good song to use. But no, it really is a striking film, and I highly recommend it. I second his pick here.
I think if you like After Sun, you'll very much enjoy My Father's Shadow. They share a lot of bones, and they're definitely in conversation with each other. And I personally just picked My Father's Shadow over After Sun. But if any of that type of movie is in your wheelhouse in any capacity, then My Father's Shadow, like, just put it to the top of your list, and when you can watch it, because it does so many of those things right. It's so beautiful. Very cool.
I'm counting. I think we only have 4 movies to talk about now, because we've gotten through our hidden gems. Really quick, Derrick, one of the your pick for personal favorite was one that was a hidden gem, which was MEHTA. Do you want to mention really quickly why MEHTA?
Oh, did I pick MEHTA?
Favorite? Yeah.
I think I've already done it. I have to stand real hard for MEHTA, because not only did I love it, not only did I see it at the premiere, but I promise you, this is not a genuine humble brag. I really, really was so excited about this. But I did actually get to meet Nia DaCosta. I got to meet Tessa Thompson. I got to meet Nina Haas. And I got to tell them all how much I enjoyed the movie. And so just being able to, like, listen to them talk about their process and just be able to share that with them, like that automatically just makes this one of my personal favorites on the list. I was so excited that my vibes like found a way into my top 15 for MEHTA. So I have to ride hard for it. And then both Thomas and I interviewed the producer of MEHTA, and she was absolutely wonderful, and she was great. So I have a lot riding on my love for MEHTA, so that's why I snuck it in there on my pick.
Yeah, totally. Marty, let's move to your personal favorite, which I'm really happy showed up on someone's list. What was your personal favorite of the year?
That would be Plainclothes.
Yeah.
I've seen it 3 times now, and I could go for a 4th today if I'm feeling like it. Like, oh my, it's such a beautiful film. Like it really, like, I don't know, like a wash of like calm comes over me even when I think about it, because I've seen so many queer films, especially set in the past, where it's always about this heated passion, and then like things, the world, the time, they just can't be together and they're ripped apart. And it's these ship in the night stories, and they always have an ending that leaves me unsatisfied, that leaves me depressed, that just, I'm like, what was the point to begin with? And this was a film that the longer it went on, the more I had hope for the future, you know, like it just showed me how one personal connection can really like change your life. And just everything about the film like really hit for me, from the romance to the lo-fi mix and editing, and the music was fantastic. I've been a fan of Emily Wells for a long time, so for her to come in and do the score and then write an original song for the film that is just so dreamy and fantastic, just I was just really blown away by everything in the film. And I had only seen a couple performances from Tom Blythe before, and then I saw Plainclothes and I was just like, oh my God, this is fantastic. And then I just saw Waste Man at TIFF, which is another amazing
performance. Marty. Let's
and I think we'll be going wide also in February of next year.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Tom Blythe is just, he's one to watch right now. And I think Carmen, the director, just did such an amazing first feature, like hit it out of the park so hard that anything he does in the future, I will be there day one.
Yeah, you did an interview with Carmen, right?
Nicest guy. Like literally, I could have gushed over him for hours, but I was only allotted like 10 minutes.
It's a good conversation. You can find it online. Derrick, Plainclothes. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, everything Marty said and more. This is it is a personal favorite for mine as well. Like, even though it didn't make my top 15, it's definitely on my hidden gems list for sure. This movie is just, when we talk about assured direction and just editing and really just kind of trying to experiment and doing it so well and like nailing that experiment, Plainclothes is definitely that. And I too really enjoy the way that this queer story isn't so much about this, you know, kind of fiery relationship that starts, but more so about where they are in their own discovery of themselves and how much that affects their relationship. It's not necessarily the time in the world, which yes, absolutely are things that are working against them, but it's more so like you have one man who has been able to fully embrace and accept who he is as a queer person, and then you have another who just doesn't fully understand it yet. And those two colliding, and then this I'm not going to spoil it here because this ending, 2025, listen, 2025 has been the year of magnificent endings. Yes. Like I'm going to do that when we're done. I'm going to build a letterbox list of the best endings, because 2025 has just been like, even if the movie is throwing you off, the last like 2 minutes of Plainclothes is cinema. It's so fucking so good, man. Yeah, this movie's great. This is a great pick, Marty.
Yeah, it's not on our list, so I'll just mention it really quick. But another movie with a really, really exceptional like final moment was it was just an accident.
Mhm.
Yes.
Like,
Yes,
If
yes,
it's
yes.
not on the list, but I might have to change my pick
I
because
mean,
like
It's
it
my
was just an
number 4 of
accident.
the year. It's
Fucking
it's my number 4 of the
magnificent.
year.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Plainclothes. Did anyone else get to see Plainclothes?
No, but I
No.
really want it now the way you guys are talking
Yes.
about it.
Yeah, excellent movie. Like it's a good movie throughout, and I agree with everything they're saying. But man, that ending, it is just one of those endings that like solidifies the whole film as an exceptional film. I love it. So good call out there. Okay, let's move to Shawn and your personal favorite, which also happens to be Todd's personal favorite.
Yeah.
Shawn, we'll start with you. What are we talking about?
So personal favorite was Sinners, I believe. Yes.
Yes.
Look, is it one of the most basic answers to give this year? Absolutely. It's beloved by pretty much everybody. It's been in conversation for the almost a year since it's been released, but there's a reason why. This movie, I loved everything about this movie. Ryan Coogler, I mean, just to start off with him, one of the best filmmakers working today, period. He's been on everybody's radar, I feel like, for the past decade, at least since Creed. But if you want to go back further, Fruitvale Station, which is another amazing movie. And he gets it. He just gets it. And the way the story moves, the characters, the 3-act structure of it all, I just never wanted it to end. I cared about everybody, and everything felt like it had a purpose, and it really just moved me in a way that a movie hasn't moved me in years. And I'm in love with it. I really am. Like, Todd can obviously speak on it as well, but it really just comes down to just how much it moved me, and I loved it, and just reminds me what is so amazing about movies in general.
Todd, how about you? Why is this your personal favorite?
When I go to the movies, I want to see things that I've never seen before, and that's rare. But what's also rare is seeing things that you feel like deeply comfortable and at home with, then like perfected. And I think that this is somehow both of those things simultaneously. I think that what it's doing in a major mix of genres is incredibly unique, but also like there's a real like comfort in its depictions. There's a real warmth in its characters, and in the time that Coogler takes to set it up. I mean, this is a vampire movie. The vampires don't show up for like an hour, and the
Maybe
whole
it might even
first
be an hour 30. Like,
yeah, it might
they
be
don't show up
longer.
for a long time.
And the whole first act of the movie and a good portion of the second act is just like pure world building in a way that is so rare in movies writ large today, but especially in horror movies where you're like, we got to get to the thing, like we got to get to the thing that people paid the money for the ticket, right? Like whether that be like vampires killing or a zombie attack or Godzilla stomping on a city, right? Whatever the thing is. But this is not that. This is, real world building and family building and giving these characters lives and backstories and a reason for us to care about them. And if you stripped the vampire narrative out of the movie, this still just works so well as a period piece about music and blues and what it means to be a person of color, whether that be Black or Asian in the Mississippi Delta in the 1930s. And it's a real ode to Mississippi and to the South, where I'm from. I love the South, and an ode to music. And it's just it's a fucking banger of a showcase for like amazing performance after amazing performance. I think it's the best Michael B. Jordan performance he's ever given, and he's giving it twice. And they're completely distinct characters, which is just unbelievable. The revelation that was Miles Catton and for me as well, Lee Jun Lee, who plays Grace in a very small role, but she's just like chewing up every second. But that's like every person in the cast is just like operating on all cylinders. And it has, for me, the scene of the year in the barn burning.
Talk about it.
Which I think for some people doesn't work and might take them out of it. And for me, I like legitimately think I was like levitating off my seat.
Yeah.
Like you
Mhm.
probably could have slid a textbook underneath me. And my feet weren't on the ground. I was just levitating.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's it left me like literally speechless, so it makes it incredibly difficult to kind of explain why I'm so taken away with it. But when I think about the strongest emotions I've felt in a movie this year, or in a movies, largely ever, just being like, wow, like this is taking me to a place that I didn't realize I could be taken to.
Mhm.
That like 5-minute, 4-minute stretch, whatever it is up there for me. It's unbelievable stuff at the heart of a movie that is just flying away with it for me.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you really like worded everything perfectly that I agree with. I found this photo that my friend took of me right after I saw Sinners for the first time. I don't know if you guys can see it. That's me like, hunched over. I'm not crying. I'm not crying. I just want to make it very. I'm not crying, but like that was like how much it like affected me because I just sat there in absolute disbelief because I could not believe what I had just seen. Like I was always excited for that movie, but it really exceeded my expectations, and
Mm.
I'm just so happy that despite coming out so much earlier in the year, it's still getting awards love, and I really hope it goes all the way.
Mhm.
I'll admit I was crying. So I've seen this movie a
Fair.
couple of times in theaters, and just like another movie that I think we're going to spend probably the most amount of time talking about, where like after seeing it multiple times, and I saw Sinners in 35 millimeter in New York on its re-release in October, and I'd seen it a number of times before then, and it was still just like as it ended, I was just bawling. Just like it's just so beautiful. That mid-credit scene especially is talking about great endings of the year, is the best mid-credit scene any movie has ever had, because it
Yeah.
fully ties a bow on like the emotional arc, and it just devastates me, man. But I don't know. I have 3 brothers. How could it not?
That mid-credit scene, I think about that. When you're doing bench press and you get to failure, that is an accomplishment. That mid-credit scene is the rep after failure.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it just
Great way to
is
put
so
it.
satisfying. It's so satisfying.
Yeah, that music scene too. Just I literally the way that you're talking about levitating. When I first saw it, I wasn't entirely sure what to do with it in my first watch, and then I went and saw it in 70 millimeter IMAX, and I straight up felt my soul leave my body. Like I was not. It is such a transcendent experience to watch it in that kind of way, and from that moment on, I was like, this isn't just a cinematic event for this time, and this is in conversation with the movie we're going to talk about next for sure. But like, this is a generational movie. I can't remember the last time I've seen so many people from so many different walks of life with so much of a varied knowledge of, or lack thereof, of film and movies wanting to come together and just talk about Sinners. I had a friend who he's just a cinephile. He's not like a critic or anything like that. He had to organize 4 different Zoom meetings from just a collection of people from like intellectuals and lawyers and just this beautiful Black community of people from all walks of life that just wanted to sit and talk about the things they saw in Sinners. And it was so popular, he had to do 4 different Zoom meetings to accommodate all of these people. That just doesn't happen. People outside of us don't talk about movies like that, and Sinners is doing that. And this is a movie we are going to talk about for generations to come, and it's going to continue to have this life. So
Yeah, Alex.
Yeah, I'm gonna change my prestige pick for the favorite. I didn't understand the question, but my
That's
favorite
fair.
movie
You
is
changed it to Sinners.
my favorite movie is Sinners. Yes, I watched it 4 times in IMAX. It's amazing. It's one of the best movies in this decade. I'm speechless when I watched the movie for the first time. The change of aspect ratio.
I love it. Talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Yes, it's brutal. No, it's incredible, and how he manages the way he used the camera during the whole film. It's wonderful. I know all the subjects are very modern, are very from now on, and yes, it's I don't know if Michael B. Jordan. I don't know. I still have sometimes a little bit problems with his performance, but I watched it 5 times already, and it's one of the best film movies of the year. It's amazing, and the aspect ratio. It's I don't know how I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say it, but and wow, I was mesmerized by the change of the aspect ratio the first time that he makes it. I think it's during the party, and it's speechless. Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. The aspect ratio changes when Remick shows up at the cabin, which is phenomenal.
Yes.
And then at the party, it has the actual like gradual change, and then they do it again for the last fight scene.
Oh, the fight scene
Well,
is absolutely
very early
You
on
describe
in the
it early.
movie.
I have goosebumps. Like you can't see it.
Oh my God.
I'm just thinking about it.
And they kept the aspect ratio change on the home release. Like, thank you.
Yes.
They don't do that enough. I just I just love it. So much.
All of those moments, the aspect ratio changes, and they're like these big like plot moments or big emotional moments, but also very early on. And whenever y'all rewatch it next, which I know we all will, or very early, like the first 10 minutes, he goes full wide. It's full screen just as he goes over the plains and the cotton fields of the Delta.
Right. Yes.
And it's like there's all these important plot moments, but I didn't clock it the first time, but on the rewatches, it's like, and then there's also that and just the establishment, because that is just as important to Coogler, that a vampire falling into frame or this big musical scene or whatever is happening, these big momentous moments. It's also like, this is the setting, this is the story that we're telling, and just setting that up using the full aspect ratio is also like, there's just a real beauty and command there of the camera and of the story he wants to tell that's so bold and refreshing. Really excellent stuff.
Marty, I'm gonna have you talk about Sinners, and then I want you to transition into your prestige pick, because I know you have a time limit today, so I want to make sure we get to your pick. So you can tell us about Sinners and then what your prestige pick was.
Yeah, I love Sinners. I've always been either wish-washy on historical films, but I could tell just within that first 10 minutes of this that I was like, oh, I'm gonna love this. I'm really going to vibe with this, because there was just so much thought and energy put into that beginning that honestly I totally forgot about the vampires at a certain point. I was just like, I don't care if they show up or not. Like, just the history that we were getting about what's going on in the market there. When you see the daughter leave the one market to go over to where the white people are shopping and grab the mother and bring her over, it's like you're learning that this family like literally owns 2 markets on the same street so that they can sell to both markets that are going on right now, because obviously black people can't be shopping at the white shops and the white people aren't going to be shopping at the black shops. So it's just that little bit of added history in there. You're just teaching people what we weren't taught in schools. And I'm just like, it just made the film so much stronger, just putting in these tiny little bits that if it was removed, would people notice? Probably not. But it's like just that little addition strengthens the writing and just the film overall. And the performances were great. I thought the character story was just phenomenal. I still have only seen the film once, and I've been like waiting to rewatch. Maybe it'll be my New Year's Eve rewatch.
Do it. Really quick, on world building. I mean, I've always been, every time I watch it, I get more and more enthralled with how they built the story around the brothers and them being in Boston, and that whole conflict that never actually really shows up in the story, but has a whole like lore around it between you know, the mafia and, you know, everything going on, where they came from and how they got their their beer and wine. That's a mini series. There's a whole mini series that you can tell about what they did while they were gone. So like I love that.
And I think to Marty's point, just real quick, it's just that world building is what strengthens that relationship and those things that you want to know. And it's one of the first movies that deals with the segregated South that makes it feel like people actually live there, right? Like that little subtle scene of the daughter walking across the street to go from the Black community to the white community. You know, there's no big cinematic event that happens to be like, hey guys, remember segregation was bad? Like there's no emphasis on that. It's just like, yeah, man, this is like, they live here and they have to live here every day and they have to experience this every single day. And you see that in almost every interaction that they have. And then when you have these brothers who are talking about living in Chicago, which is supposed to be an upgrade for Black people, they come back and they're just like, yeah, man, it's still just a prison with taller buildings. Like none of that shit is different anywhere else. And then you get this heat check from Delroy Lindo that just casually tells this horrific story. But it's just all of those little tiny things just make it like I am living in the South in this time period. And so few filmmakers are able to actually pull that off in the way that he does. And it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. I'll shut up. Sorry. I'm talking about Sinners and this next movie all day long. So.
No, thanks for the correction. I said Chicago. I said Boston. I meant Chicago. But yeah, Marty, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. We've covered everything about Sinners, from the levitating to the history to the characters, just all of it. It's phenomenal.
What is your prestige pick?
My prestige pick would have to be If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I think the last few years, my like favorite film of the year keeps coming out of Sundance. Like it really, like, they take me away. And for this year, it was If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. And like going in, another one where I didn't really know anything other than it's Rose Byrne. It's written by the Bronstein, directed by Mary Bronstein. And I was just, it started and then it never let up. It was a almost 2-hour long panic attack. And like, that doesn't sound exciting. That sounds horrifying, but I don't know. Towards the end of a festival, you kind of start getting brain rot. It's hard to pay attention. It's hard to do these things. And within 30 minutes of the movie, I literally was like up in my seat like this. And I just kept leaning more forward and forward. Like I just was in stone. Like it just fully locked into this movie because just it kept building and building and building. And you're like hoping for some kind of relief. And yeah, you get the little bits of comedic relief every once in a while with, what is it, like a hamster, a gerbil? What was that? And oh my God, like it, I was just so blown away by Rose's performance and just how they can capture such just this piling of anxiety and dread and responsibility and all these things that are just like literally making it so she can't breathe, that she just wants to run into the ocean. And I felt every ounce of that. And that's, I think, one of the only films this year that like really emotionally made me feel exactly what my character was feeling that I'm watching. And just to create a bubble like so powerful that like I left the film like shaking and like almost struggling to speak. I'm like, that's incredible filmmaking. And that's why I had to highlight If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You.
Yeah, good call on that one. Marty, I know you have
you have to run, but it's been fabulous talking to you guys.
Yes, thanks for joining, Marty. We'll see you. We'll see you at Sundance.
Yeah, see everybody at Sundance, or as many of you as I can.
Right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. All right. Who else had the chance to see If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You? Yeah. All right. Let's go, Shawn.
Oh no.
You raised your hand first.
Yeah, that's fair. It was another movie that, again, it just wasn't for me, and I completely. I know. I know. It's just, I agree with everything that Marty says. I definitely see, and Rose Byrne is incredible in this movie. Really, career best. If she gets awards, consideration, wins, like I'm all for. I love Rose Byrne. I love her in this movie. for me personally, it's just the overall, the movie overall. It's just, it's gonna sound really weird. There's a lot going on. It's very overstimulating, and it's a lot like Uncut Gems, where it's just noises and things are moving very fast all the time, and it just didn't work for me. I just wasn't enjoying myself watching it, and I can't bring myself to say I liked it, because I see the ideas there, and the story is definitely like an interesting one with the daughter, and A$AP Rocky was even like really good, and Conan O'Brien is great. Like there are things that I liked, but it was just too much for me. It just comes down to that. It's very simple. It was just too much. I'm sorry.
That's fair. Todd?
I like this movie. It's probably in my top 25 for the year, like pretty handily. What I would say is I obviously like just personally feel completely differently from Shawn, but I do think that what Shawn is saying really highlights why I think this movie is so excellent in its construction, which is like that's exactly how a normal rational person is supposed to feel watching it. And I am acknowledging that like I'm a fucked up individual that likes to feel like the walls are closing in on me and there's a giant fucking hole in the roof and I'm never going to be able to save my daughter, that like I just can't even like begin to think about right now because she's just off frame the whole time. Like just like Uncut Gems, you're supposed to be overwhelmed. Like it is supposed to make you uncomfortable. If you're leaving that and you're like, I had a great time, like that was like the Wizard of Oz, like that was the super chill, like yeah, let's run it back. Well, you want to do it again? Can we grab food real quick? Like you're not supposed to feel that way. And I think that is a testament to its success in its construction, that like Brunstein is so successful in creating this movie. And Rose Byrne, O'Brien, Rocky, who's had a phenomenal year, are all excellent in this movie. And there are little moments of levity that are still just like deeply fucked up, like the hamster in traffic and the like 18-year-old that's working the front desk just giving her a hard time over and over and over. But I mean, absolutely right. So I think like that's just your mileage may vary on feeling uncomfortable, and luckily it seems like for Shawn, feeling uncomfortable is a bad thing, which is like absolutely the correct like evolutionary tract, and like you're better for that. But I do think it is a testament to just how well made the film is, which is it's accomplishing what it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, Derrick, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I'm actually going to agree with Todd here. So if I had legs, it's definitely in my top 25. I think Rose is in my top 5 performances of the year because she's just unreal in this movie. And the movie genuinely, I mean, Bronstein is very confident and very strong in what she's trying to accomplish, but nothing in this movie works if you don't have somebody like Rose Byrne able to like keep you in that space and maintain that anxiety level for an entire feature film. It's like that's just an insane performance. So, but I do agree. It's one of these movies that like, I felt a lot like Shawn when I left, and then on reflection, I realized like, oh, that's how we're supposed. Like this movie accomplished what it set out to do. It is a 2.5-hour panic attack. Like that is by design. Like that's what it's supposed to do. And so if I left feeling jarred and overstimulated, at first I was like, oh man, like that was awful. And then as I started to reflect on it, I was like, oh, but it's okay, I get it now. Okay, yeah, no, this is great. So this is truly probably the only film on my top 25 that I really, really liked, but I don't ever need to watch again. Like I don't ever need to sit through it again, but I can recognize all. So that's like, I get it, Shawn, but at the same time, I'm a little bit more in line with Todd's kind of assessment of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Alex, did you have a chance to see If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You?
No, I haven't. No, it's gonna get released on February.
As you can tell, we think you're gonna have a great time with this movie.
Real fun. You're gonna leave so happy. It's gonna be great.
I think the movie, I saw it at Sundance, and yeah, brain rot is tough when you're at Sundance. But I think I just remember all the close-up shots being the panic-inducing thing, and maybe because inherently that does do that, but also when I'm editing and a shot is zoomed in too much, it frustrates me. and that's kind of what a lot of these shots are. It's just like messing with frame and like being super close, and that's kind of what that bubble is. That's like really the claustrophobia, or there's a lot of like how the camera is just like really close on things or not showing the daughter's face, and I'm just like, can you just back up a little bit? Just like, can I just like get a little bit of space here? But that's all a part of like that panic inducing thing. And so yeah, it definitely pulls off its effect. Whether you enjoy that enough to watch it more than once is up to you.
Can I last thing on this?
Yeah,
Can I say that I think this is probably the funniest movie of the year for Marty to be like, I love that movie, and then I'm just gonna leave. Y'all have fun talking about it.
It's just like
have fun.
Grenade.
I'm out.
That's hilarious. Well, we have one more movie to talk about, and Todd, I'm going to let you kick off this conversation. Give us your prestige pick. And this is the last one we have on our list.
I can't believe we all picked this, but shout out us. Our prestige pick, all 6 of us in agreement, is A House of Dynamite by Catherine.
Bro, you had me for a second, I swear to God.
Only the third act, though. Only the third act. That's
Oh my God.
really
It's strictly Idris Elba playing basketball with Angel Reese.
Yeah, you said
A 45-second
endings, Derek. Yeah, that was not one of them.
Oh yeah. No, the best scene of the year is him telling me the House of Dynamite is in fact a House of Dynamite.
And he learned it from a podcast.
An all-male podcast.
It's Paul Thomas Anderson's like decade-defining, year-defining, century-defining masterpiece. It's one battle after another.
Yeah.
I can't believe you put the onus on me to start this conversation.
Yeah,
I have
did that.
no idea how long we're going to talk about it. I don't even know how to talk about this movie. It's kind of like a culmination of the current political moment, of what it is to be a parent, and of at least the last 65 years of movie history all rolled into one.
Mm-hmm.
And then to top it all off, it's like every person giving legitimately, like, I think their best performances ever. Like, the more I sit with it, the more I'm like, I think this is Leo's best performance ever, because of the tightrope he has to walk of comedy and incompetence and like just dire emotional like need, and that's not something he has to do very like ever. He's just like never in the comedic role, and he's never incompetent. He's always the hero, and he's not the hero here. And then everyone else, like, it's Chase Infinity, whose previous best work was an Apple show that went on 4 episodes too long, and
based on a movie that does it way better. But yeah,
based on a book that you can read on a flight. And so, Benicio is amazing, and Sean Penn is just, just the best, and Tiana Taylor. And, it's like the list goes on, and then the cinematography, the score, as always with PTA, the needle drops are just like fucking hit you like a sledgehammer. I just will never be able to listen to Steely Dan or Tom Petty without like crying ever again. And I don't know. I'll have so much more to say once other people say stuff. I guess that's like table dressing, considering I'm guessing we all love this movie. It's the last movie we're talking about.
I just watched it like 2 days ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
for like the 6th time. Like I'm just gonna jump in because this movie is, every time I watch it, and it's I think it has a lot of conversation with Sinners just based on its like cultural impact, its confidence, it's all of those types of things. So I get that flip-flop of like, these are the 2 movies that you can basically pick, and it's hard to pick against them in my opinion, because they're so unassailable. Yes. And one battle after another will also have that generational longevity. Like, it is, I've called it's a movie that's both timely and timeless, where it speaks so much to our moment, but it is also so generational that whenever this moment passes, you're still going to be able to revisit this at any time and be like, oh yeah, all of these things still apply, even if it's not directly about us. And that is so hard to do, not just attempt, but to like pull off masterfully in like absolutely no bad side. This movie is so amazing. And I I love Marty Supreme, and I love what Chalamet does in Marty Supreme, and I think that if he won, I would not be mad. If he won the Best Actor, wouldn't be mad. But I agree with Todd. I think this is probably Leo at his absolute best. It is so against type, and not even just type for the movies that he plays, but when you think about a movie star who is not just starring in a movie, but every single scene has to relinquish command and control of the screen without relinquishing his protagonist themes. To be able to do that and just highlight everyone around him while still existing in the screen, while still being Leo, but like that is, I can't even describe to you how hard that has to be as a performer. And he does it for everyone, every single human being he shares the screen with. He is weakening himself and lowering himself and letting that other person just organically take over the scene. And you never lose your love for what Leo's doing. But all of a sudden, you're like, oh, Benicio del Toro is the star of this scene. Oh, Chase Infinity is the star of this scene. And I can't even wrap my mind around how good you have to be as a performer to do that and not really, I have to identify that. I have to watch that 5 or 6 times, and it feels so natural, and it doesn't take away from what the story is doing. It actually increases the strength of his character. It's just incredible. It is such an incredible performance, and I think people need to really not be shocked if he does take it, because he absolutely deserves it, and he's incredible. And then you just get to everybody else. Like, Tiana Taylor's in this movie for 15 minutes, and she just looms large over the entire thing. There's never a moment where you're not thinking about what she's done and how much Perfidia affects everybody around her. I'm going to give a shout out to Regina Hall and then I'll shut up. But that woman, 8 minutes of screen time, 2 lines, all face. And I'm just like, this is the best acting I've ever seen in my life. Like, just the things she conveys with just her eyes. And it's something I've noticed the more we've kind of talked about it in general conversation. And then every time I watch it, the amount that she communicates in nothing but a simple look, and Paul Thomas Anderson being able to identify that as something that she can do, it is genuinely mind-blowing how much she gets out of literally nothing. They're just like, hey, I'm going to put the camera on you. I need you to convey 50,000 emotions, but you're not allowed to open your mouth. And bam, all of them with just her eyes. It's fucking incredible. I love this movie. This movie's amazing.
Alex, what do you think about One Battle After Another?
Well, it's a movie that I watched it 3 times. Yes, the first time I didn't like it. I don't know what happened to me. I liked the last act of the movie, but the rest of the movie I was like, what was that? Why? I didn't get the connection of the storylines. I don't know. And then I watched it the second time. And I was like, okay, wow, this thing is they're okay, wow. But I still something didn't click on me. And then I watched it the third time, and I was blown away. What? This is a masterpiece. This is incredible. And I think sometimes when you have a really good movie in front of you, it's really difficult to get along with it. I don't know. It's something that happened to me, and yes, it's amazing. The road scene, it's incredible. The last 30 minutes of the movie are amazing. I could watch that scene 300 times, and yes. What else? Sean Penn, it's amazing as a villain. It's incredible, and Leonardo DiCaprio. It's really good. I don't know. I'm saying that Derek. I wouldn't be mad if Timothée Chalamet wins Best Actor, but I think this is one of the best performances of Leonardo DiCaprio. Yes, it's incredible. And what else? Yes, the first time I didn't get the Tiana Taylor story. It got really separated from the storyline of Leonardo DiCaprio and her daughter. She disappears completely of the movie, and I was like, what happens to her? But then everything makes sense. No, like it's incredible. And
Mhm.
yes,
Yeah,
uh,
I can imagine this
and
gets better. Gets better with more watches.
yes, it gets better with much watches. Yes,
Mhm.
because the first time I was like, well, I like it, but it was okay. Like I don't know, like, but yeah, it's going evolving with me.
Mhm.
Yes, it goes like that.
That's awesome. Sean, let's
Yeah.
get your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, before I start, I just want to say what I love about having these conversations with everybody is that, for better or worse, hearing everyone's interpretations, their thoughts on the movies, it really just opens up my mind to stuff I may not have noticed the first time I've seen a movie. And I just love that, because hearing everyone talk about this movie just makes me want to rewatch it even more, because I've not seen it since it came out. But I really, really want to rewatch it, just hearing you guys talk about it. And then I know when I start talking about it and what I love about it, it will just push me to watch it even more. So I really hope in the next couple of days I give another rewatch if I have the time. So there's nothing much to add off of what you guys have said. This movie is amazing. Behind Sinners, it's an easy number 2 for me.
Yes.
We haven't really talked a lot about Sean Penn, and he is so amazing in this movie. He's my personal pick for supporting actor of the year. Well, him and Jacoby Jupe for Hamnet. But spoiler alert, it's been out for months. It's on VOD. Please watch it if you haven't, obviously. But when you think that Sean Penn's character dies, and then it's a bit blurry, but you see the walk, and by the walk alone, you know who he is. Like, that just defined the movie for me personally. He was amazing in the movie. And that's Sean Penn, who I believe has at least an Oscar, I believe, too. So to get a performance like that out of him, who he really hasn't been around the past couple of years, at least to this degree. And then what you guys are saying about Leo getting these career best performances from these actors that have been around for decades, but then getting these breakout performances from people like Chase Infinity and Shauna Taylor, and even Regina Hall, who I think up until this point has not gotten the credit she deserves, because she's known for the Scary Movie franchise, but she's an amazing dramatic actress, as you see in this movie with the limited screen time she has. So getting everything from everybody out of this movie is such a testament to the director that PT is, who also has had decades of work, of masterpieces, but then to come out with this is just insane, and a generational thing that is such a fortunate thing to see. You know, I feel like it feels a lot like Oppenheimer a couple of years ago with Nolan, where, you know, been around for a long time and he's made amazing movies, but what else does he have to offer us? And I feel like, at least with the conversations I was having with people, I think people expected One Battle After Another to be what it was. I think people were expecting a great movie, maybe a really good movie, but what we got out of this movie just solidifies PT as one of the greatest directors of all time. I think he's amazing. He's a master at what he does, and I can't wait to continue talking about this movie and hearing the way we talk about movies like Sinners and One Battle After Another. This shows what a great year 2025 has been. We've gotten two, I think, career-defining movies from two phenomenal directors, and that's just something. It's just beautiful. It's something that's so beautiful about film, and it makes me so excited to see what comes out next year, the year after. It's the best. I can't look back on this year and talk about these two movies specifically because of what they brought out of us with these conversations, with these thoughts on film as a culture, as a society. It's oh God, it's the best. I know that was a big like ramble and rant, but you guys said so much about the film. I just want to talk about what these movies mean to us. You know, I hope that's okay.
Yeah,
you gotta
no, that's
rewatch
great.
it, John. You got to. Alex identified it too. Like it's evolving. Like every watch, like you start to uncover something different. Like I said, I had my sixth watch, and there were just moments and little things that I was just like, oh yeah, I didn't notice that the first time.
Yes,
and like,
yes.
This movie has that ability of just like every time you watch it, you're gonna find something new. It's so rich and so beautiful. And I also love that it's, as much as it is like Paul Thomas Anderson's most accessible, in my opinion. I think this is probably the broadest of all of his films, where it's not just weird cinephiles like us that, you know, come every time he makes a movie. This is something that like your mom and dad might actually go and watch this movie and enjoy it.
Yes.
But then there's also just like so many PTA things where he just reminds you that like, no, man, I'm still PTA. I'm still like, we're still gonna name the rendezvous point Sisters of the Brave Beaver. Like that is so fucking PTA. It's not even funny. We're still gonna make the question that he's gonna know what's my favorite type of pussy. Like that is, you just don't get more PTA than that. And he's just constantly doing that, where he's making this big, broad and specific generational film. But then he's also like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm gonna do this little PTA shit in here, and you're all gonna love it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
This movie's so good.
Even this is a really small part, but even when they're running on the rooftops, and it's just I can't explain it, but just like the side shot of them running, and it's their silhouettes, or like them running, and they're in the dark, but then there's all these lights behind them. It's stunning. I hope I'm like explaining it right. I hope you guys.
It's one of the most beautiful shots of the year. Like
beautiful,
it's absolutely gorgeous.
It's just like watching stuff like that, and then scenes in Sinners. Like there was just so many beautiful things you can make with a camera. Like
there's like big sequences, like the one that it's the raid in the raid. It's incredible. Like how he puts some. How can I say it? How he puts the pieces, and you start to connect everything. Like there's the raid scene, the road scene. Like it's incredible how he makes these sequences. Like they're really long. There's like a small movies in a big movie, and like yeah.
Totally. No, guys, this is a great conversation. Yeah. No, this was a great conversation, guys. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you all for submitting these incredible picks, and thank you specifically for not choosing Marty Supreme. Now, thank you all out there for listening, and we appreciate you guys tuning in.
We're going for another hour. We're going to talk about Marty Supreme.
Yes.
Tune in next time. No, I actually don't know what we're talking about next week. I have to get next month's calendar put together, but yeah, I hope you guys tune in next week, and we'll continue conversations next week on ForReel.